CIT, the Center for Indigenous Theatre, is a 3-year training institute for Indigenous students. The students start from the beginning in year 1, and each year of training builds off of the first year, and then the second year, and then third year. We also offer 4th year training to graduates, and that 4th year training is often built from creative energy juices that build up over the last 3 years. New plays are being written, video dramas are being created.
CIT means inspiration. I see a lot of people come through the program who are at first very shy, and as they go through the terms and years, they become more and more solidified in who they will be as an Indigenous artist. When people come here from small communities, reservations, towns, cities, they are engulfed into a different world. I strongly believe that Toronto is its own world.
What CIT has let me do is be in a situation, a place where there's a lot of things I don't have to think about, so I can think about the things I want to think about. And hearing the stories and working with the other students, the Indigenous students. I have like 26 years of formal education, and there was never another Indigenous person with me in any of those times. We are incredible people. We really are. And we have been holding ourselves to the standard of mediocrity that is the colonizer for a very, very long time now. And we don't have to anymore.
CIT is a place where I feel like I can really express myself, artistically. I often feel like it's like an escape of mine because I feel like I can't really create the ways I can at CIT anywhere else. So I feel like it's really helped me just bring out my creative side and my voice as an artist. Here, they kind of just make you do it, and they just make you get into it you don't really have a choice. So I've just gotten used to it, and I've gotten to really play around with it.
While being here at CIT, I've learned to, not be so closed off, and you really do have to put yourself out there. The teachers will literally force it out of you if you want to be, scared or not want to do a scene. They will work with you, and I think that's what I would say most that I've learned is just coming out of your comfort zone, and it'll only help you in the end. Expand your knowledge, expand your talents, then take that leap of faith and, give it a shot. Who knows?
No matter what theater school you're in, it's such hard work. There's lots of exploration, lots of investigation. There's a lot of self-exploration. Please come and check us out. We have so much to offer. There's a lot of Indigenous programming happening in Ontario that we are part of, and we welcome you to come and take part in those things with us. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do this work. Miigwech.
Welcome to the Center for Indigenous Theatre's Program Info Session. My name is Pearl.
And I am Kian.
And I'm Nolan, and we are current students at CIT. We're happy to have you to join us today.
We're here to answer all your questions about our school and how you can become a student in our classes. Have you ever thought about pursuing a career as an artist? Let us know in the comments.
If you're watching us right now, you probably already have some questions in mind about Center for Indigenous Theatre and what we are all about. Feel free to leave those in the comments too.
We'll start with a little history on CIT and show you what the program and school year may look like. We'll go over our COVID-19 health and safety protocols, as well as how to apply and get into the program.
During our short time today, you also get to view a clip from our spring showcase. We were able to sit down with one of CIT's faculty members, who is also an alumni, Candace Scott Moore, so stay tuned for those clips.
Let's jump in a brief history lesson. CIT was founded by James Buller and was originally a 6-week program called Native Theatre School. The Native Theatre School was then renamed Center for Indigenous Theatre in 1994. We then went on to become a full-time program in 1999. We expanded to a 3-year program in 2002 and finally added a 4th year in 2018.
If you're still wondering what we're all about, CIT is a post-secondary program that provides training in acting, voice, and movement. We also offer cultural classes that are focused on dance, song, and oral history. We have partnerships across Canada that we will share different experiences with throughout the year. We offer opportunities for land-based teachings with Debaj Majig, storytellers in Manitowoning,
and Anamataxi.
there you go, in Nipissing First Nation.
Now, it's time for a clip from our spring showcase.
Scene. Rise and shine, Bigfoot.
I got this odd feeling with my shoulders, shifting my shoulders around, shimmying them. Stiff neck. Something's off.
I seen a quiet tree reaching out to feel a sense of home. I live here too. The moment, like being back home. Grab blankets, anything with threads in it. Branches, sticks, moss, fur, and leaves. Go to the meat section, get a rotisserie chicken. Lantern, matches, dog food, pedigree. Meatball sauce, canned vegetables, beans with pork. What? Are they mad that they can't live in this part of the city for free?
Scene. Gravy.
Sky. Pretty greasy. Starts to attack animals here around the park. He attacks this pigeon. And as the pigeon tries to fly away, he grows hair out of his hands like spaghetti. He wraps it around the bird, grows a metallic spike, and kills the bird. As the pigeon falls, a bunch of gravy-colored stuff comes out of it.
Mushy. Metal. Metallic, like metal gravy.
It wasn't a bird.
Grow some spikes. Spikes coming out all over his body.
Wrapping his spaghetti hair around different animals around the park. Squirrels, mice, pets, birds. Putting his metallic spikes through them. Every animal oozing out that liquid. Oh, mushy.
Scene. Public resources.
Parks are public resources intended to be used by everyone. This is particularly the case during the pandemic when outdoor spaces are needed for people to meet and engage. The encampments impair the use of the parks by others.
Warning! Bigfoot! Get out of the park! They're coming! The robot left it. Walking by, she dropped it. She's leaving threats in all the tents.
Or warnings. You see that gray house over there? That's her backyard.
It's a robot. She just keeps going round and around and around, watching everything, guarding her territory.
Scene. Ice cap. Icicles.
I decided to take a walk at Trinity Bellwoods Park out of boredom. It was a nice, sunny, blue day. Good enough for an ice cap, I thought.
I felt a cold chill on my cheek, so I put my hand there to warm it up. My cheek got colder.
I overheard something talking. A lump growing out of their head, coming out between their eyebrows, spikes peeking out of their body.
So I put my hand down. My hand turned into icicles coming out of it. I tripped out. Am I dreaming?
I thought I'd see who was talking about such feelings. Little did I know that would be the mistake of the day.
So I ran up to a tree if it got cold. As I touched the tree, it turned into a big icicle.
Spikes coming out of his body. You can see them all over, tearing spots through his shirt and jacket. That was enough for me to run away.
So I ran further down the trail. I see this bench. And there are a couple butterflies flying around. I overhear them talking. One of them says,
"My wing is getting cold."
And the other says,
Our friends are getting cold.
"It's trippy." I hear butterflies talking. I hear one of them say,
I felt our relationship was getting cold.
A spike coming out from between my eyebrows. A clear spike spiked out of my forehead between my two eyebrows, between the lines growing from my furrow.
Scene. Dead end. I didn't really know where I wanted to go. It's a dead end. Breathing with my mouth. Taste the cold. The silence. Social silencing. I guess it's understandable.
An overwhelming silence that made sense to him due to any of the personal reasons that they might not have for wanting to talk or make noise. There isn't a lot of nature to enjoy around Toronto. The wolf sticks to the alleys, moves in the shadows.
Silencing. Some people are afraid. Some people, I guess they're shy. Don't worry about me. I'm used to being outside this long.
Hear the wind? That sound when it's real windy and when you're in a shelter? Cold plastic crinkle.
The wind pushes the fur, smooth like a brush, fading away.
Back to our program. Here's the outline of our current school year. The first cohort of our first year students started schools in September. We began with an orientation period of CIT and Toronto. Students then enrolled into full-time training with a winter break in between our studies. We are now continuing our training from January until May, leading up to graduation.
Due to COVID-19, special protocols have been put in place. This includes, but is not limited to, mandatory social distancing and facial coverings, as well as sanitization and screening before entering CIT studios. The health and safety of our students, faculty, and staff members is of utmost importance.
That may leave you wondering what your class schedule might look like during the next school year. As our current health and safety regulations continue to develop, your training might be influenced by COVID-19 related provincial guidelines.
Classes are particularly in person, but will be online in some cases. You will have a variety of classes at CIT throughout the year, such as dance, voice, physical theater, singing, and story creation. You will be on your feet and expected to be actively participating in all classes. Accommodations can always be made. You can address any access concerns or needs to your educators or staff.
Now it's time for a clip with one of our alumni, Candace.
Okay, so my days at CIT were probably some of the most memorable times of my life. I feel like it was those formative years of becoming an adult and growing up and learning to make decisions and learning who I am and going out and meeting people. So I would have to say that, number one, I came from the res. I was just 19, 20 years old and moved to Toronto when it was like, I had only ever been to Toronto to see a Blue Jays game, Canada's Wonderland, maybe maybe a family trip once to see a play. But other than that, I had never been to Toronto on my own. So coming and moving to the city, when my parents dropped me off, they left and they were in teary eyes, leaving, thinking, oh, what are we doing, leaving our daughter in this big city? And, I was excited. I was so excited to be there. So excited to be doing something that I loved to do. Finding my way to different studios, going to my classroom and meeting my classmates, and those classmates became my family. We did everything together. I was very fortunate that the years that I went to school, my fellow classmates, we were all really good friends, and still to this day, 20 years later, we're still in touch and we're still friends. But learning all the different crafts and skills that I had learned and I had never ever experienced before. Every day was something new. That's the one exciting thing that I really appreciated, was that we would never be repeating the same things, and getting introduced. All our faculty, the faculty was the best. We had the greatest teachers who were always willing to share and challenge us. And I mean, at the time, I'd be like, whatever, you're giving me this feedback, but I didn't understand. Maybe at the time I didn't understand, but now today I am so grateful that I got challenged on the things that I did, because it really helped me grow. So going through those different challenges. But my days at CIT, because I was there for the 3-year program, and the best days of my life, I'd have to say, for sure.
Absolutely. Just going back to the faculty that you talked about, are there any faculty that you are in touch with today that still influence your life and your career?
Oh, yes. So, okay, definitely. So one of the faculty members that had a major influence on my life is Denise Bolduc. So Denise taught me and my classmates, we went through some event planning stages, some grant writing. We had this awesome grant writing session with her, and following through the years, Denise, actually, we worked together. I got to work on the very first Planet Indigenous with her, and actually today I'm producing at Luminato Festival with her. So, we are definitely quite the duo. And I'm still learning from her. I learn from her every day. So she's one. Penny Cucci and Sid Bob from Agmatazi, being able to, they were just incredible people at the time when I came to CIT. They were those really kind people with a lot to share and super open, invited us into their home outside of school hours and just shared with us, made us feel welcome into the city. And today, I literally just did a project with them, the Intertribal Gathering for the Indigenous Performing Arts Alliance. recently, and that they still like that love and compassion that they put into everything they do, including our friendships now. But yeah, those are the ones that really stand out for me.
And they're still at CIT today.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I could go on, right? Like Kalumpa Bob, Lee Miracle, Herbie Barnes, Janny Lozon, all these really incredible people who have really, really shaped my life in the arts, and that like we still do some overlap. We're still in contact. We still, see each other around and whatnot. Like when we meet these, and there was one really interesting time. Janny Lozon was the artistic director when I was at school, and later on, like fast forward a bunch of years, and I was working on a project. I was producing an event or a film with the National Aboriginal Achievement Foundation, and we were doing the casting, and Janny had come into audition, and it was really interesting to be on the other side of the table. And even Janny had made comment of like, look at this, like she was my artistic director at theater school, and now I'm in a casting session where she's auditioning. It was just like, what? It was super cool. And yeah, I have the utmost respect for Janny.
Thank you, Candace.
Did that inspire you to want to? Let us know in the comments below. Wondering what requirements are needed to apply for Centre Indigenous Theatre? You must be identified as First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. You must be 18 years old of age or older. You need a grade 10 English level or higher. You have an interest in acting, movement, voice, self-discovery, and theatre, as well have an interest in exploring Indigenous culture and knowledge.
Now that we've gone over requirements, here are important documents that you must submit when applying to the Centre for Indigenous Theatre. They include
an updated resume, a 500-word essay expressing your interest in theatre and coming to CIT, 2 references that can vouch for your interest in theatre, a photocopy of your health card, an audition video of you doing some script work.
To help you out with your audition, we created a how-to video. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Sam Twin. I'm a 4th year student here at Centre for Indigenous Theatre.
Hi, I'm Teresa Cutneff, and I'm also a 4th year student at the Centre for Indigenous Theatre.
We'll give you some tips and tricks on how to do your monologues and get them sent into CIT.
Yes, so first find an age-appropriate monologue for yourself. Use something from the Indigenous canon, something like from Thompson Highway, Drew Hayden Taylor, Kenneth T. Williams. Do you have any more?
Keith Barker, Alanis King. And if you have any troubles finding anything like that, you could email CIT and we'll provide you with a monologue.
So Sam, what did you do for your audition into CIT?
I did Isaac from Thunderstick by Kenneth Williams. What about you? What did you do?
I was sent a collection of different story pieces from Coyote City. What to wear? Wear something simple, neutral colors, something that you're comfortable and confident in.
Yep. And there's not really a time limit for it, but it should be around 3 minutes.
If you have any other skills that you want to show, like singing, dancing, hand drumming, anything and everything, feel free to submit it. But you do have to have a monologue.
Unless, of course, you're a storyteller and you have a story, then you could submit that instead of the monologue, but no accents, please.
And the most important thing is to have fun. And if you stumble, that's okay.
Yep.
You can do it over and over as many times as you feel. Have any other difficulties like doing your monologue or audition?
Probably the hardest part was memorizing it all, and I had somebody film it for me. I did not know that it was best to film it with a neutral background, so I filmed it just in a living room, and there was a lot of things in the background, but it worked out. And you don't need a professional camera. We're doing this on an iPhone 10. You can stack it up on some books or put it on a table, whatever you got to do. As long as it's capturing basically from half of your torso up so we can see your shoulders and your head. You can have a relative or somebody hold the camera for you, and you can just send that into CIT.
Have fun.
There are ongoing requirements in order to remain in the program. Curious on what it takes to be a CIT graduate?
You are expected to be on time and present for all classes and must actively be looking for funding while you attend your studies. Tuition each year costs $3,750.
Before you go, we would like to mention that there is alternative funding options. If you are unable to receive financial support from your band, there are other organizations that you can submit applications to for funding. These include but are not limited to Inspire Foundation, Dreamcatcher Charitable Foundation, Métis Nations of Ontario, Canada Post, Mississaugas of the Credit, and other organizations. If you need funding application assistance, contact us at Center for Indigenous Theatre. We are accepting applications for the full-time program as well as the summer intensive now. Reminder, no student has ever been turned away due to lack of funding.
Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and like us on Facebook to stay updated on CIT news and updates. Also, check out our new website, indigenoustheater.com.
We would also like to thank our funders. With their generous support, we are able to provide a school for our students. The Department of Canadian Heritage, the Ontario Arts Council, the Toronto Arts Council, Misway Beak Aboriginal Employment and Training, Hastings Park Foundation of Rights and Freedoms, McLean Smith's Family Foundation, Ontario Arts Foundation.
Thank you for attending CIT's program info session. Also, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and we will get back to you.
See you soon.